You know what's fascinating about To Kill a Mockingbird? The book was rarely published. Harper Lee threw the manuscript in the snow out of frustration, and her agent had to rescue it. Today, it sold over 40 million copies and changed how we talk about justice in America.
That's such an incredible detail about the manuscript. And looking at the impact it's had since then, especially in how it tackles systemic racism through a child's eyes, it's remarkable.
The genius of setting this in the 1930s Alabama during the Great Depression is how it lets us explore these themes through Scout's innocent perspective. The economic hardship had created this powder keg of racial and social tensions, with unemployment rates hitting nearly 25% nationwide, but even higher for Black Americans.
Speaking of historical context, isn't it striking how Lee based the trial of Tom Robinson on the actual Scottsboro Boys case from 1931? 9 young Black men were falsely accused of rape, just like Tom.
Exactly right. And just like in the Scottsboro case, the evidence clearly showed Tom Robinson's innocence. The way Atticus exposes the lies of Mayella Ewell and her father isn't just brilliant legal work, it's a profound moral statement about how prejudice can override truth.
The trial scenes are devastating, especially when Tom testifies about feeling sorry for Mayella. That one moment of human empathy becomes his downfall.
You know what's fascinating? Studies have shown that To Kill a Mockingbird is still taught in about 70% of American schools, but it's also one of the most frequently challenged books. People struggle with its honest portrayal of racism and injustice.
That tension speaks to how relevant these themes still are. How do you think the parallel storyline with Boo Radley adds to the book's message?
The Boo Radley thread is brilliant because it shows how fear of the unknown feeds prejudice. The children imagine him as this monster based on neighborhood gossip, just like the town views Tom Robinson through the lens of racial discrimination. Both characters are essentially mockingbirds, harmless figures destroyed by society's prejudices.
And that connection becomes even more powerful when you consider how Boo saves the children in the end, completely upending their preconceptions.
Lee drew inspiration for Boo Radley from a real incident in her childhood. There was a reclusive neighbor who left gifts for local children in a tree hollow. She took that seed of truth and transformed it into this powerful metaphor about judgment and redemption.
That's fascinating how she wove real life elements into the story. The character of Atticus was based on her father, wasn't he?
Yes, and here's what's interesting. Her father, Amasa Coleman Lee, actually defended 2 Black men accused of murder in 1919, though unlike Atticus, he didn't challenge the fundamental injustice of segregation. Lee took that basic framework and created something more aspirational in Atticus.
The way the novel handles moral complexity is remarkable. Even seemingly minor characters like Mrs. Dubose contribute to these deeper themes about courage and understanding.
And what's powerful about Mrs. Dubose is how she represents the complexity of change. She's fighting her morphine addiction while holding on to her racist views. It shows how someone can be both courageous and deeply flawed. Studies have shown that this kind of nuanced characterization helps readers develop more sophisticated moral reasoning.
That's such an important point about how the novel teaches empathy through these layered characters rather than simple moral lessons.
Looking at the novel's legacy today, it's sobering to see how many of its themes remain relevant. Recent studies show racial disparities in our justice system persist, Black defendants are still far more likely to be wrongly convicted than white defendants, echoing Tom Robinson's story.
That ongoing relevance highlights why this book continues to resonate with new generations of readers.
You know what stays with me most? The way the novel balances hope with realism. It doesn't pretend that one court case or one good man can fix systemic injustice, but it shows how individual acts of courage and understanding can create ripples of change. That's a message that's as vital now as it was in 1960